officials in the liberal Southern California city of San Diego have declared a state of emergency during a busy tourism time for the town. Prior to admitting the problem, 15 people died and a whopping 400 have been hospitalized. California is one state which has led the charge against President Donald Trump's crackdown on immigration by deliberately giving illegals a sanctuary to escape to after crossing the southern border into the United States. The area also has a sizable homeless population, in part due to the extremely high cost of living. With the influx of new kinds of residents, they may have inadvertently invited in much more than a flood of new people, which Trump had warned about. San Diego did things their way and now are suffering what could be the result of that detrimental decision. As many Americans were packing up for the long weekend to celebrate the final holiday of the summer, officials in San Diego were dealing with a devastating issue. Rather than heading to the beach or other relaxing location, residents were flooding hospitals in droves, suffering from what quickly became a complete health crisis in the area. A public health emergency was declared Friday over an outbreak of hepatitis A that has been linked to at least 15 deaths and 400 hospitalizations, America's freedom fighters reported. According to Fox News, the liver disease outbreak started last November, with the homeless population affected most. The emergency declaration will help the city access state funds and provide legal protection for new sanitation measures, the Union Tribune reported. Areas with high concentrations of homeless people will receive roughly 40 portable hand-washing stations to help combat the disease, which can spread through fecal matter when people fail to thoroughly clean their hands after using the restroom. Crews also plan to use bleach-spiked water for high-pressure washing to remove all feces, blood, bodily fluids or contaminated surfaces, according to a sanitation plan outlined in a letter Thursday. The massive sanitization efforts could soon be imposed in surrounding areas to control the situation that's spreading out of control. After previous vaccination and educational programs failed to significantly reduce the infection rate, and with death reports spiking in recent weeks, San Diego decided to mimic a campaign used in Los Angeles, which is home to tens of thousands of homeless, in an attempt to curb the outbreak, Fox News explained. While they aren't stating specifically who or which group of people started this, outbreaks of this kind are par for the course when unvaccinated people from other countries come in and bring diseases with them. It's not a matter of being racist or bigoted to want to control immigration. It's a health concern which could be prevented if people go about this process the correct way. The backup efforts to curb the problem, as previously explained, was too little and too late. The outbreak was already in San Diego and trying to stop it is far more difficult than preventing it in the first place. Today, it's Hep A, but next, it could be something worse, which is what President Trump is trying to be proactive about with all of his anti-illegal immigration efforts. We've already seen the introduction of ancient disease brought into America with the influx of refugees as part of a program that former President Barack Obama was adamant about, as previously reported by ProudCons. According to ProudCons, 7 refugees with active tuberculosis, TB, were diagnosed shortly after their resettlement in Idaho between 2011 and 2015. According to the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare. This makes Idaho the 7th state to confirm to Breitbart News that recently arrived refugees have been diagnosed with active TB. The other states in which recently arrived refugees have been diagnosed with active TB include Louisiana, 21, Florida, 11, Colorado, 10, Indiana, 4, Kentucky, where 9 were diagnosed in one county, and North Dakota, where 4 refugees who resided in the United States for less than 5 years were diagnosed in one county. Idaho is one of 14 states that have withdrawn from the federal refugee resettlement program, where the federal government has hired a voluntary agency, VOLAG, to resettle refugees under the statutorily questionable Wilson Fish Alternative Program. In Idaho, the federal government has contracted the Idaho Office for Refugees, IRE, a division of the large nonprofit known as JANUS, to run the program. JANUS is one of the largest organizations within the lucrative and politically connected refugee resettlement industry, which is paid more than $1 billion per year by the federal government. There is no valid argument for allowing contagious disease such as these to run rampant in the name of political correctness. Immigration laws were never about being racist or insensitive. They were created for a reason, and the control of a potential outbreak is just part of it. What San Diego is experiencing this holiday weekend could have potentially been avoided if laws were followed and immigrants were stopped from crossing into America at will.